Greetings everyone, welcome to my review of Mega Man Issue 3. So far, Mega Man has damaged 3 Robot Masters and only 3 remain. Now, he has disconnected himself emotionally, but Roll brought him back, so you can tell that he is having a difficult time getting the job done. And how will he fare against the final 3 Robot Masters? We start with Elecman in communication with Dr. Wily, and he explains that by tapping directly into the power conduits, Elecman has turned the electric power plant into one giant death trap, and Mega Man manages to get through said death trap pretty much unharmed. Now, this is a nice in-comic explanation of those random bolts of electricity that appear throughout Elecman's stage in the first game, especially during the part before you face Elecman proper. Speaking of facing Elecman, Mega Man makes it to the top and switches to Rolling Cutter. Dr. Wily's cheering Elecman on, like, get him, get him! But Mega Man takes out Elecman in one hit. Dr. Wily prepares a recovery robot for Elecman and puts 2 more on standby just in case. Anyway, Mega Man copies Elecman's Thunder Beam and is immediately teleported to Iceman's location. Dr. Light is concerned of what's going on. Even Roll's concerned about what's going on. Is he acting different? He seems more confident, a little more assured of himself. We see Dr. Light working on some kind of invention that may look familiar to gamers, but we'll get to that. Mega Man reaches Iceman's battle room. And after a very brief fight, Mega Man zaps Iceman with Thunder Beam, and he's down for the count. With Ice Slasher copied, he is teleported to Fireman's stage. Mega Man's like, okay, I get it. Let's get this out of the way, please. And we see the familiar flame enemies in Fireman's stage, known as the Tackle Fire. He just goes through the stage quickly until he comes upon Fireman's room. And before Fireman can even finish his sentence, Mega Man freezes him. Mega Man is very confident after copying his powers, like, you call yourself a robot master, puh. Mega Man is immediately teleported back to Light Labs under some kind of force field, and Mega Man is all upset. It's like, I did this all for you! Why are you treating me like this? And he is switching between every single weapon he's acquired. As he's getting more and more violent, more angry, he suddenly changes his attitude when he sees Roll's face. Well, unfortunately, we do not see Roll's face, but Roll gets very upset and runs away, and this makes Mega Man, or should I say Rock, change his tune. Then Rock pleads Dr. Light to get rid of the weapons, saying he's turning evil, he's turning just like Dr. Wily and all that stuff. And then Dr. Light reassures him that he is not evil. He's just a little robot who is given too much power and too much burden for the world. And what he says next is actually pretty familiar if you're a fan of the band The Megas. It's the chorus to the song A Message from Dr. Light. It makes sense because the writer of this series is Ian Flynn, and he has been known in this series and in the Sonic series to include fandom nods here and there. Anyway, Dr. Light wants to help Rock, and one of his reasons is he does not want to lose another one of his beloved creations, and we all know which creation that is. In order to stop Dr. Wily, Rock will still need the weapons that he has in his possession. The next item Mega Man copies is the Magnet Beam. And it would make sense that Mega Man would get the Magnet Beam in Light Labs because, well, Dr. Light made it. In the game, you would find the Magnet Beam at a random location in Elecman stage, and the thing is you have to get it in order to complete the game. No choice. After making up with Dr. Light, there is still one more person to say sorry to, and it is Roll. Dr. Light asks Rock to sit down while he downloads data from Rock. We see Rock sitting down, sipping on an E-Tank, yep. And then we see Roll replacing the entire tile where Mega Man did a bunch of damage. Based on the data that Mega Man has collected, Dr. Light deduced that the Robot Masters, and therefore Dr. Wily, is stationed up in the factory that the Robot Masters were built. Dr. Light says that Wily has converted the factory into some kind of fortress, and there's some kind of scrambler, so Mega Man can't teleport directly into the fortress. So everything's all good, Mega Man's all charged up, all dings put out. And before Mega Man goes, Roll gives him a nice old hug and wish him luck. So, yeah, Mega Man's off to face Dr. Wily, and now we're back at the beginning of this arc. Only this time, we see Dr. Wily watching him go through the motions. He's pretty much like, ugh, I take what's rightfully mine, and then you turn your helper robot into some third-rate warrior who thinks he's special? Oh, then, fine, bring on your little blue bomber. And then the last page shows Dr. Wily and the 6 rebuilt Robot Masters ready for Mega Man. Oh boy. First, let me get this off my chest. The Robot Master battles were short and lame. Mega Man took them down with one shot of their weakness. I mean, I understand it's their weakness, but Mega Man didn't even take any damage. Now, I understand that this was written for a trade, and there's only a limited amount of pages available, but come on, at least make it a little more epic. I mean, if you want to see an epic battle with the Robot Masters, I should play the games. Consider the fact that these Robot Masters weren't built to fight, they were built to be laborers and help people, but maybe if adding one more issue to this arc could help things, you know, put the Robot Master battles 2 per issue, that might smooth some edges, but what's done is done. To make up for it, I do like this nice little emotional scene between Mega Man and Dr. Light. I like the explanation of why Mega Man doesn't keep all his powers from one game to another, save for his regular old Buster. Again, there's another reference to good old Blues, or Proto Man, who we will see much later on in this comic series, but yeah. Alright, so this is it. The first final showdown between Dr. Wily and Mega Man is coming up. Well, I'm going to give this issue a 7.5 out of 10, and the reason is because, again, the Robot Master battles were pretty lame. Anyway, thank you for watching this review, and see you next time. Anyway, this pose Mega Man has right here, it's a nice reference to the box art of Mega Man 3 and Mega Man Dr. Wily's Revenge.